Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Happening right now, St Augustine's University is holding a Candlelight Vigil. It's to offer support and sympathy to those who could be impacted by the university's potential loss of accreditation. Let's get to WRAL's Carly Haynes. She is live at the university right now. And Carly, what would a loss of accreditation mean for the students there?
Well, Julian, it would mean that a degree from a university that they love suddenly wouldn't be as much value to future employers or grad schools. We've been seeing current students and former students go in to that chapel for this Candlelight Vigil, even some people who didn't go to the university just there for support. This vigil is about holding a prayer for the university. People walking in told us they love their school and they wouldn't be here today without it. This historic HBCU is at risk of losing its accreditation, according to voting members, because of its financial irresponsibility. WRAL data trackers discovered that the IRS filed a $7.9 million tax lien against St. Aug's Tuesday for unpaid taxes since 2020. The message at the vigil tonight: pray for recovery. It's tough for this community to be going through this right now, since this school means so much to them.
It is in my imagination, and I have to believe true, that each one of you represents a community, a household, a group of people who are also praying for St. Augustine's, praying for our university, praying for the current students who are working tirelessly. They are doing their job as students.
St. Aug's was put on probation in December. They plan to appeal that decision, potentially at a hearing that could come this week. And the university is holding a press conference tomorrow to discuss their financial strategy going forward. Julian.
A lot of people will be all ears waiting for a strategy to move forward. Carly Haynes reporting live for us tonight in Raleigh. Thank you. First responders in Minnesota held a procession for their fallen colleagues that were killed in the line of duty today. Police officer Paul Emstrad and Matthew Rugy, as well as firefighter and paramedic Adam Finseth, were all killed while responding to a domestic situation in a Minneapolis suburb. Another police officer was injured. Investigators say they got a call that an armed man was barricaded inside a home with family members. Officers say the suspect was reported to be dead more than 6 hours after the barricade situation started. They did not say how the suspect died. Burnsville police chief spoke passionately about her team members and the paramedic killed today.
Today, 3 members of our team made the ultimate sacrifice for this community. They are heroes. Our police officers and our fire paramedics, they come to work every day. They do it willingly. They know that they might have to give up their life for their partners, for someone else. They know they have to give up their life sometime, and they do it anyways. And you cannot understand it if you're not in the profession.
Officer Elmstrad was with the department for over 6 years. Officer Rugy was with the department for nearly 4 years. And Adam Finseth, who was a SWAT paramedic, worked with the city of Burnsville for 5 years. Officers are investigating the cause of a fire at a Raleigh home. Our breaking news tracker was at the scene of the fire on Marsh Lane Way this afternoon. You can see several crews out there surveying the damage. Several people were inside the home at the time of the fire, including a mother and her 2 young kids.
I was sitting there making a bottle, and my dad was just like, "Get out the house, run out the house." So I just picked my baby up, picked my son up. I just ran across the street. I didn't even think anything. I was just worried about my kids, really.
Firefighters say everyone got out of the home safely and no one was injured. The fire department, along with Duke and Dominion Energy, are investigating the cause of the fire. New this evening, the Sampson County Sheriff's Office says an arrest has been made in an assault, arson, and homicide investigation, all tied to a burned trailer where a man died early this morning. 46-year-old Perry Folger was taken into custody this afternoon and faces assault and burglary charges. Additional charges are expected. The sheriff's office also says the 2 victims in this case were 64-year-old Harry Taylor and 69-year-old Evelyn Franklin. WRAL's Eric Miller has more on the investigation.
The 911 call came in around 1 a.m. A woman first reporting a home invasion, then a house fire.
Caller did it was probably set by the intruders.
Radio traffic revealing the moments after first responders realized just how bad that fire was.
Single-story mobile home, fully involved.
Sunday afternoon, all that's left behind are melted walls, charred pillows, and a singed wheelchair.
He was a character. I used to give him rides around.
Neighbor Joe Chabot says the man who died in this mobile home, Harry Taylor, had lost a leg to cancer.
It was just sad to see him. No one needs to go have that happen.
The Sampson County Sheriff's Office says deputies tried to reach Taylor when they got to the scene, but couldn't get to him because of the flames. The office adding in a statement that the other victim in this case, Elvin Franklin, was injured while trying to defend Taylor. While we were on the scene, pages of a search warrant left behind blew over to our crew. Those warrants provide more details on what happened, including that Franklin and Taylor were assaulted with a bat, Franklin was left with a cut on her head, and that Taylor might have been unconscious and Franklin was unable to get her husband out of the residence. It also details items seized from the scene, including a wrench, multiple jugs of fuel, and a lighter. In Newton Grove, Eric Miller, WRAL News.
Now, the Sheriff's Office says the investigation is still ongoing and has confirmed federal and state agencies are involved. The U.S. military has conducted a new round of strikes against Houthi rebel targets in the Red Sea. These new targets include targeting what U.S. Central Command says is the first unmanned underwater vessel the Iranian-backed rebel group has used since the attacks in the Red Sea began. The unmanned water vessel attacks marks a new strategy for the Houthis and comes in spite of continued U.S. airstrikes against the rebel group. We're working to learn the identities of the people killed and injured after a car crash in Edgecombe County. We first reported this as breaking news last night at 10. The crash shut down part of US 64 alternate in the Heartsease area while several agencies investigated. State Highway Patrol tells us this crash involves 6 adults, 1 person in a white pickup truck, and 5 in a silver SUV. 3 passengers in the SUV died. The driver and another passenger were taken to the hospital. The driver of the truck was also taken to the hospital, and he is expected to be okay. It appears these 2 vehicles collided, and the SUV ended up off the road and into a field. A local fire chief says this is a dangerous stretch of road known as Dead Man's Curve, and there have been a number of deadly accidents there over the years. A woman in Fayetteville, police say, is wanted on a first-degree murder charge, is still on the run tonight. Police are looking for the woman shown right here on your screen. She's Heather Chantel Lindsay. Investigators say if you know where she is, you can call Crime Stoppers at 910-483-8477. Police say she killed 44-year-old Andre Lewis. He was shot multiple times on November 15th. Police say they found him when they responded to a call along Center Street. He died at the hospital. Now, Lewis himself was facing a voluntary manslaughter charge in connection with a homicide case in July. Police say Lewis shot and killed Alvy Chavis Jr. of Fayetteville. Chavis was found dead behind a home, again on Center Street. The school employee sickouts that shut down schools in Durham recently might now lead to changes across North Carolina, and not necessarily the kind of changes government employees might want to see. Some lawmakers were unhappy to see schools closed by protests. Now they're questioning whether they need to rewrite state law to ban similar tactics in the future. State Senate leader Phil Berger said the group of school employees who called in sick had lost track of who they're really supposed to be serving.
It would seem to me that they should be able to work these things out and keep the schools open.
It's illegal for government employees to go on strike in North Carolina, but the school workers in Durham say they didn't strike. Many took personal days, which is legal. But now there are talks to whether it should remain legal in the future. For more on the story and how the sickouts could be a subject on the campaign trail this year, go to NC Capital section of WRAL.com. A fallen Greensboro police officer was remembered with the softball tournament this weekend. How much money the community was able to raise for his family in just one day. Plus, there was a focus on the felines at the State Fairgrounds today. We get a look at all the excitement from the cat show. Anthony.
And Julian, it's a chilly night out there for us. Currently, we have temperatures in the 40s across the area. We're at 45 around the triangle. Coming up here after this break, we're going to talk about a warm-up on the way and who could see temperatures close to 70 degrees along with our next rain chances.
Look at that shot right there. That is a Kodak moment from the tower cam right there. Beautiful shot of the sunset there. Well, welcome back. Tomorrow in Raleigh, there will be a screening of the documentary examining the 2015 murders of 3 people in an apartment in Chapel Hill. 36 Seconds Portrait of a Hate Crime features new interviews about the killings of Dia Berkat, Yusor Abu Salah, and her sister, Ruzanne Abu Salah. The emotional documentary includes a confession from convicted murderer Craig Hicks. The screening is happening tomorrow night at 6 at the Weatherspoon Student Center on NC State's campus. Now, after the film, there will be a panel discussion on the investigation. The event is free. I saw the documentary last week. It is powerful and moving. A fallen Greensboro police officer was honored with an adult softball tournament this weekend. Sergeant Philip Dale Nix was shot and killed when he attempted to stop a robbery at a Sheetz gas station in Guilford County in December. He was off duty at the time. More than 20 teams took part in the softball tournament in Randolph County, which started yesterday and wrapped up today.
It was just heavy on my heart to try and do something like this, and I'm glad that my other teammates felt the same way, and we collaborated, and we're just extremely happy.
I feel very, very pleased, very emotional, but it's satisfying to know that the softball community is also putting efforts in remembering his legacy, playing for a cause.
All of the proceeds from the event are going to the Nix family. Organizers say they raised $6,000 yesterday. 3 men are facing charges for Sergeant Nix's death. Starting tomorrow, sections of the American Tobacco Trail will be closed periodically. Crews need to repair and update rails and support systems for several bridges. 5 sections in Wake County will be impacted depending on a variety of factors, including weather. Of course, weather. Tomorrow, the White Oak Bridge will be closed and the trail will be blocked between Wimberley Road and point just north of Goodwin Road. The section will likely be closed through Friday. We have a couple of mighty big jackpots that's up for grabs this week. The Powerball prize is up to $330 million for tomorrow night's drawing. Meanwhile, the Mega Millions jackpot is even bigger, $493 million. That drawing is Tuesday. You can watch both drawings live on WRAL at 11 p.m. The Raleigh Cat Show wrapped up at the NC State Fairgrounds today. The event featured over 100 pedigreed and household cats competing for the top cat. There were on-site cat adoptions through Princeton's Meow, and several vendors that were there selling cat-related items. It was just a fun day out there. Look at that guy. That looks a great-looking cat. Anthony, it has been a chilly day, and looks like it's going to be a chilly night as well.
It is, yeah. It's another night, Julian, where we're going to be close to freezing, and then through the majority of this week, we have some temperatures that are going to be a little bit more comfortable. By the time we get to Thursday, we're looking at temps in the mid to upper 60s. We'll talk about that here shortly. Let's get us outside, though, this evening. Here's a live look right now in Warrenton. You can see the sun is now down. We have definitely some cloud cover sticking with us this evening. As we go into tonight, a lot of that will stick with us, but I think more sunshine by the time we get into our President's Day and into Tuesday. We're at 45 currently, Raleigh-Durham, 43 in Southern Pines, 44 in Fayetteville, low 40s there in Roxborough. Everyone definitely feeling cold, but not a huge wind chill factor for us out there right now. Wind speeds are about 5 to 10 miles an hour, so this is very similar to what we saw yesterday evening, where it's just a couple degrees cooler than what that actual air temperature is reading, is what it feels like out there. Here's where we're going tonight, though. 25 in Roxborough, 31 in Raleigh, low 30s down to the south. Everyone going to be needing the heat once again for us tonight. And then as we head over the next couple of mornings, we should start to get a little bit better, I think, with those temperatures getting a little bit milder. Here's where we sit currently on satellite and radar. Very, very quiet. You see some of these clouds sticking around. That's kind of leftover from a front that came through. There's a lot of moisture down into the deep south. Florida has been talking about some rainfall, even toward Jacksonville there. We have the cloud cover in place, and we're going to start to see that pushing on out. You can kind of see that back edge there starting to approach our area. 57 is our normal high temperature for this time of the year. 56 is where we go tomorrow. 50 55 on Tuesday. Slowly starting to warm temperatures up. It's going to be pretty nice there on Thursday at 66. We go to 65 on Friday. The trade-off being, though, that we've been mentioning here the past couple of days is definitely some more rain coming in late Thursday night and especially into Friday morning. It's going to be pretty minimal, but I think especially the first half of the day on Friday, we'll watch for that. At the mountains tomorrow for our President's Day, 53 in Asheville, 56 Bryson City, upper 40s there in Boone. It will be chilly in Boone especially. Notice wind speeds, though, are not too bad out of the northwest at about 5 to 10. They could gust up to, let's say, 15 to 20. At the beaches, we're at 58 there. Wilmington, 54. Wrightsville, upper 40s. Nags Head, a little bit breezier there, but again, a lot of sunshine. Whatever you are doing here across the state, it's looking pretty good. We're not watching any big-time storm systems coming through here the next couple of days. Let's talk about, though, the next 7. So we're at 56 tomorrow, 55 on Tuesday. We keep the sunshine for us the next little while. I know the weekend we've seen a decent amount of cloud cover. That will be out of here. We get to 60 Wednesday, 66 on Thursday. Then our next rain chances come in. At this point, it looks like the bulk of that would be early on Friday. A lot of it starts to push out into Friday afternoon. We do go to 65, and then even into next weekend, we're pretty comfortable there. 60 on Saturday, 62 by the time we get into Sunday. So all in all, Julian, this is looking like a pretty nice forecast. Again, those mornings, though, still going to be cold with temperatures in the 30s for most of us.
You know, I'm just looking at the sunset behind me, and I'm just loving it. Yeah. I know we're getting closer to seeing more daylight hours as well, right?
We are, yeah. In fact, that time change is going to be, I believe it's mid-March. So we have a little bit of time before that, but it's heading toward that spring season, Julian. It's going to be a difference for us.
I'm just rushing things, right?
That's okay. It's a beautiful shot. I love it.
It is. All right. Yeah. Thank you, Anthony. All right, sports is next, and there is a lot to talk about. Casey Hintz will join us in just a few minutes. And she has a big game to tell you about in just a little bit. And we're going to talk about that guy who may have reached 1,000 wins. We'll talk about it next.
Georgia Tech and number 6 NC State tied with under 15 seconds to play. Isaiah James driving. Sanaya Rivers there for the putback and won the pack with a 3-point lead with 4 seconds to play. But Yellow Jackets refused to go away in this one. Kara Dunn, hot hand all night, throws up the prayer at the buzzer. She gets it to go, forcing overtime at Reynolds. Hey, good evening, everyone. Boy, it was a thriller. Now, not only would the Yellow Jackets not go away, you got to tip your hats. They were shooting lights out, 63% in the first half, 70% from three-point range, but no panic from the pack all the way to the final buzzer. Let's get you out to the Coliseum. Good to see Mimi Collins back in the lineup after missing the game at Notre Dame. Now, Georgia Tech throwing the first few punches in this one, starting 7 of 7 from the field. They led most of the entire first half, but the pack would go on a 6-0 run with time winding down in the second quarter. And it gets over to Isaiah James, who pulls up, buzzer beater. State up 42-41 after the first 20 minutes. Pack picked up right where it left off after the break. Sanaya Rivers, one of her 5 assists, up ahead to James. A 30-burger for number 10 and a 6-point lead. But that wouldn't last. Down 5 in the fourth. Madison Hayes, the putback. She had 15 and 11 on the afternoon. Pack within 3. Let's pick it up now in overtime. River Baldwin doing what she does best in the post as they work it inside. A little hook for 2 of her 16. State survives an OT, 86-85. They improved to 11-3 in ACC play. Now, NC State had a chance to get its skipper win number 1,000 yesterday versus VCU, but they let a 5-1 lead slip away. A lot like when head coach Elliott Avent was in search of his very first win at State 28 years ago. But today, although it came close, his team wouldn't let him down. Let's get you out to the Doak, bottom of 3. Pack up 1. A little 2-out rally going on with 2 on. Josh Hogue right back up where it came from. Garrett Pennington comes all the way around from second, and that makes it 2-0. Very next inning, Drew Lanphier. He puts some smoke up the middle. Jacob Kozert, yeah, he's got some wheels too. He dives in for the 3-0 lead. Wow, what a day for freshman southpaw Ryan Marone, making his collegiate debut, tossing 5 scoreless innings with 8 strikeouts. Yeah, that'll earn you a hug from the big guy there. Rams make it tight in this one, coming down to the 9th, but the Pack hang on. There it is, the final out, 5-3 the final. Win number 1,000 For Elliott Avent at NC State, just the 5th active D1 head coach to reach this milestone with one program. Hey, Coach, how does it feel?
I teared up a little bit. I mean, this win is special, but not for maybe what some people may think or what it implicates with 1,000 wins. It's who made the 1,000 wins, the players that made those 1,000 wins. And like I said, I can't wait to go. I hope that I can get a video of that thing they put out. I hope I can see that, because I didn't get to see, but the very end made me tear up.
All right, a top 20 matchup in the final day of the baseball at the beach. Number 12, Duke on top of number 18, Coastal Carolina, on the top of the 7th right now, 5-2. And Carolina gets a series sweep over Wagner, 20-6. The final from the Bosch. I'll have highlights from both contests tonight on Sports Extra on Fox 50 following the 10 p.m. news. And if you're like me, you were excited for the Great American Race, well, you're going to have to wait one more day. The Daytona 500 postponed until Monday after 2 straight days of rain at Daytona International Speedway. Green flag is scheduled for shortly after 4 p.m. And yes, you can still see all the coverage over on Fox 50 tomorrow. So.
Absolutely. Congratulations to Coach Avent. 1,000 wins. That's incredible.
Big achievement.
Thanks, Casey. And thank you for joining us tonight. Have a great evening.